sign, just in case you haven't seen one. They're starting to sprout around a little bit. But, I want to talk a little about why I'm running and what I think sets me a little bit apart and challenge folks here a little bit as well. I currently don't hold political office. The only elected office in this community I ever held was I ran against Harriet Spinell's son Phil for precinct committee person about 22 years ago, and much to the party's surprise, I won because I was a vice president for external affairs at Western at the time. Nobody knew who I was except me and the students. It was a student precinct, and so I won. But I've been involved quite a bit off and on since then. I worked on several mayoral campaigns and also some legislative campaigns. I had the misfortune of working on a number of campaigns that lost by a very small amount. I'm hoping this one will be different. But I'm running because when I moved here in 1982, there were a lot of issues that people were talking about. Issues about the lake. In fact, in doorbelling, I ran into a fellow that used to run the Council of Governments, and he said in 1972 they did an analysis of what was needed to save Lake Whatcom, and what was needed was to change the zoning, what's allowed in rural forestry zoning, from allowing residential building to not allowing any residential building at all. The county commission at the time took that information and decided rather than implement the solutions, they disbanded the Council of Governments. So we're faced with a much more expensive problem now, and it's still here now. You know, we've looked at there's a lot of other problems that are around now that have been around for most of the past 25 years. And there's been good people working on them, but for a variety of reasons, we haven't gotten where we need to be. And I've got a history of working on problems and getting things done. You know, people have said to me, I'm kind of running a bifurcated campaign. When I'm out doorbelling and I talk to people, I find that what I talk about really resonates and people really like what I have to say. And I'm getting a lot of support, and it's growing support because basically I'm starting at zero, so it's a low bar. But I'm getting a tremendous amount of support, and what I'm finding is that the folks that are on the ground, that are living in the community, that aren't necessarily tied in tightly to politics, like what I have to say, and they're supporting me. But what I hear from folks that think of themselves as political experts is, why do you think you can run and win? Or alternatively, well, I'd like to support you, but I don't think you're going to win. And my challenge is, I think that that's a very short-sighted way to look at things. I think we need to look at things the way, frankly, Ask Me 114 did. Ask Me 114 went out on a limb. They took a chance. They used an endorsement in what I think is the appropriate way. They looked around, and rather than looking for a bandwagon to hop on, they said, who's the best candidate, and how can we help that person win? And they chose me. And I'd like to challenge folks that look around at the candidates here, and if you see somebody that's better than me, I would love for you to support them. But if you see me and you look at what I'm doing, what I have done, and what I'm capable of doing, and you think I'm the best person, then I think you should support me and try to do the right thing. We've certainly had enough in this country and in this community at times of people going with who they think is going to win as opposed to who they think the right person is, the best person is, the responsible person is, for the best interests of the community. And I'm running because I care about this community very much. I've got 2 kids that I want to be able to grow up and stay in this community, want to stay in this community. I'm worried about things like affordable housing, and frankly, one of the reasons that we don't have affordable housing in this community is because for too long, this community has been too willing to accept whatever development comes along instead of targeting development that pays affordable housing wages. As much as I really value the work that Colsham Land Trust is doing, they are never going to be able to do more than nibble at the edges of the problem. And what we need to do is we need to attack the problem head on. The way to have affordable housing is to have jobs built in this community that will allow people to afford the houses at the prices they're at in this community. And we can do that. And we should do that. And if I'm elected, we will do that. I'm asking for your support for mayor. And I'm asking for you to go out on a limb and support somebody who is something of an outsider in this group. But I want your support. I will deliver on what I talk about, and thank you for your time. I also just want to say quickly that I think there's a wonderful group of people running, and I'm not trying to denigrate the folks that I'm running against. I'm just saying that I think that we need some serious leadership and some serious change in leadership, and I think that I offer that. Thank you.